Hey y'all, hey, this is like my fourth time doing this voiceover. People keep calling me and it stops and then I don't know how to start it back. But I hope you guys are doing well. Thank you for tuning in. A couple of people I want to send a shout out to would be my girl Quinn, bless you much. My sis Michelle and my sis Key to Many. Thank you guys for tuning in and always leaving a comment and supporting. And also to Miss Jefferson, she know who I'm talking about. Thank you guys. We have to keep pushing. We have to keep going, y'all, every day, all day. You just got to put your mind to it and get it done. It's nothing else to do but get it done. Well, with that being said, my condolences goes to the young lady, London. Yeah, that's her name, London. We were praying for a safe return. And the reason why I resonate with this story, because the young lady is 17 years old. Y'all, and my daughter is 17 and she's getting ready to graduate. So prayers goes to London family. Like I said, we was all praying for a safe return, and that could no longer be because they found her body a couple of days, about 2-3 weeks later. This young lady was 17 years old. The family said she worked a couple of jobs. She was a go-getter. She was the life of the party. She knew what she wanted. Somehow, the young lady ended up doing hair. Her older sibling dropped her off. And I'm getting this from sources on YouTube and stuff. So said all that to say we was praying for a safe return for the young lady, because when things drop, on my feed and it's interesting, I like to read it and follow up on it. And, I heard the interview from her mom, her stepdad, her dad, and her stepmom, her grandmother. Everybody was pouring out for this little girl. You hear me? The prayers were going. I think the young lady's from Inksford, or she went visit her boyfriend in Inksford, or wherever she's from. She's not that far from that area. But anyway, she didn't make it. They ended up finding the little girl 2 weeks later. And they said that she was found in an SUV, the 4 miles from her house or 4 blocks from her house. Anyway, y'all, that is so sad for her to be in the prime of her life, and somebody made a horrible decision, made a horrible mistake as far as taking this young lady's life. Like that, her parents could never get back. She can't graduate, she can't get married. She can't do her education. But her sibling dropped her off, and in the middle of one of her older siblings dropped her off to this guy's house. I think everybody was aware that she was, dating this guy. I don't believe it was a secret from what, they saying, but that's not the main idea. Now, I think they have the boy and his mom in custody. Now, I don't know if the young man did it, but he's a suspect. But his mom did lie to the authorities. So that's why she's in custody. Like I said, the community, everybody was praying for this little girl to come home. Your innocent child, out there, and this person or persons decide to end the life. That was ultimately, their decision. They made a poor decision. And, like I said, I resonate with the story because my daughter is 17. But justice for London. Pray for her family. Like I said, again, I do not know the little girl. I just resonate with the story because my daughter is 17. And Lord, if I was to ever get a phone call like that, because you don't know the minute or the hour, and you don't know how, right? We just cover them and pray all is well. Our children, this girl didn't know that she was walking into her death plan. But anyway, brings me back to, the matter at hand. My daughter is going into her season to where she's about to graduate. She's about to step into adulthood, and it's up from there. It's no more turning back. It's no more I wish I coulda, shoulda. Now you will get chance after chance. That's the good thing about God. But sometimes you have to learn from others. You don't want to make the mistake as others. You want to learn from them and say, oh no, I'm not going to do that because that didn't work for so and so. So my heart goes out to London, but moving forward to protect another child, it's crazy. It's crazy that this family has to bury this little girl. And I think, she was unrecognizable because she had been in an SUV for 2 weeks because they had been looking for her for 2-3 weeks, and the family didn't report her missing. They reported her missing 3 days later. So maybe this was the little girl norm to go and hang out with him and come back a couple of days later. I do not know. But the mama and the daddy and the grandmother, baby, these people is distraught, as they should. But brings me back to my daughter. She struggled with school. She did not like it. She was not interested in it. Even though she looked like, like she was interested in stuff like that. She did cheer throughout the year. She did dance camps. She did pageants. And she did well, y'all. This little girl, like, she'll tell you everything good, even though she have things going on with herself. And one day, not right now, but I'm gonna insert a little prayer she did when she was 6 years old for my mom. She did a prayer for my mom when she was about 6 years old. I'm talking about a remarkable prayer. Don't even look like it's coming from a 6-year-old, baby. She lifted up the name of Jesus on high. Do you hear me? But anyway, my daughter never was interested in school. Every year the people would call and say, hey, she's not going to make it. Your daughter, she's going to fail. We need to come up with a plan B, so on and so forth. Nevertheless, of course, I got all frustrated and, hey, what's going on with you? Why you don't like school? Because me, I excelled at school. I love school, but I'm not her, right? And so now my daughter was a larger kid, still beautiful, but she was always a little chunky, little cute, chunky little girl. But she just never liked school, y'all. So, and moving forward, she would tell me that people would bully her and stuff when she was growing up. And that, kids are cruel. And some adults, even had some adults tell her, different things, about herself. Which was crazy because, what adult is sitting there bullying a kid? Shame on you. Like, absolutely shame on you, girl. Like, you ain't got nothing else better to do but to, tell a child, how fluffy they are or whatever. But anyway, every year, like I was saying, I had to go in for a conference of them saying, yeah, lovely, she not gonna make it. This little girl, she's gonna fail. She's gonna fail. She's one of the younger 17-year-olds because she graduating in May, but she will not. Will not have a birthday September. Excuse me, the end part. So that's what we fighting against. We fought against this for 13 years of these people telling us she ain't gonna make it. She gonna fail, this, that, and the third. But I kept believing in God. I say, God, if it's your will, right? If it's your will, we will prevail. Not even knowing the outcome, because it was sometimes that she shouldn't have made it, y'all. I'm not even gonna lie to you. She shouldn't have made it. And she ended up pulling through every time. And now we here at 17 years old, like poor sweet London should have been walking across the field or the stage. We are graduating. and it's nobody but the goodness of God. Like that's it. That's all. I can't even tell you. You know how many nights, days this girl would procrastinate with doing work. Like I said, she showed up to school. She was a cheerleader from her 6th grade year to her 10th grade year. Now in 10th grade, she did face some trouble, but that's her story to tell. But she was able to get back into school the next following year. So his favor was always upon her. And he's going to fight us tooth and nail before we, if it's something great on our life, he's going to fight us tooth and nail because he's trying to strengthen us. And he's trying to give us the materials and the tools that we need to be able to fight through life. Because you can't be no weakly fighting through life. You can't be no peon. Because, baby, the way them darts and daggers be coming to you, stabbing you all in the chest, the leg, the stomach, everywhere. Baby, you got to fight. You got to fight for what's right. You got to fight. But like I said, when you in the moment of that thing, baby, you weak. You don't feel like fighting. So that's why you got to ask God for his strength, right? But like I said, she is graduating, and I thank God for that. We're going to pray for London and her family. Thank God she did, have a return, because sometimes, you don't even find the boy or the missing girl. So her parents just waiting on answers. Why would you do such a thing, right? To the guy, why would you do such a thing? But anyway, that he has the answer to God for that. Why would he kill that sweet young lady? But we're gonna just pray, and and then the hard thing about it is forgiving. You also have to forgive a person that do stuff like that. Isn't that crazy? But anyway, I just wanted to bring that to light, that we are graduating at 17, even though the odds were against us. They told her that she wasn't going to graduate. Even December 2024, I was in a meeting with this girl, and the officer and the guidance counselor said, nope, she's not going to make it. She not gonna make it. But we did, and we praise and we thank God for that. But let me read this. I know I've been yapping, but this is a little poem. Sometimes you must hurt in order to know. You have to fall in order to grow. You have to lose in order to gain. Because most of life's greatest lessons are learned through pain. And that is so true. So true. We have to learn through pain. And when we're going through situations, we can't tell God, what situations. We can't pick and choose A, B, C, or D. It ain't multiple choice. Life ain't multiple choice. What situation you going to go through? Because any of us could be London's parents. Any of us could have been in my situation. I have a first cousin that lost her child. I don't check on her as often as I should, but I check on her and I send her encouragement, because I know every day she wake up, she don't want to get up, but she have to keep going because she have those other kids. But thank y'all for tuning in. Thank y'all for listening. Like I say, I love to talk, but you got to grow. You got to lose to gain. And we got to do it through pain. Because how else you grow when you're doing exercise and you're trying to get your body right? It's painful to grow. It's painful. But thank you for listening. Y'all have a good day.